for people who are trying to get where you're at, like aspiring adventurous creators, do you have any advice for them on either where to start or how to know it's going well to actually pursue full time?
I would say especially now because it's oversaturation. It's just the internet is insane, as we all see every day when we open our phones. I think the thing that will always shine through is genuine, just being genuine. If you really care about something, people are going to be able to tell. They're going to know that you care about it. They're going to know that you're passionate about it. And that genuine passion for what you're doing. Like, I see videos on YouTube of everything. There's people who do plumbing. There's people who outfit vans. There's people who do landscaping. There's a guy that walks around and knocks on people's doors and offers them free landscaping. There's a niche for anything. The problem is, if you enter into this like, hey, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to become successful off of this, you're already setting yourself up for failure, because if you're not enjoying every step of the way, why would you even do it? Like, I know that like celebrity and is like such a big thing. Influencer is like what everybody wants to do nowadays and all this stuff. But like, in reality, it's a lot cooler to have a job that you love, and it's a lot cooler to make good money doing something that you're passionate about than it is to be famous on the internet. So I think if this is something that you really want to do, you're passionate about it, you see an angle and you're going to enjoy it, I think that you will be successful. And success is always relative. You know, I have people comment sometimes negative things about my channel not being as big as other people's channels. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is my life. Like, I don't care. Like, I think you're missing that, dude. This is just my life. That's it.
No, that's perfect. I was going to ask, let's say someone does follow that advice and kind of get some momentum there, and they want to actually try to make some money from what they're doing, in addition to like the YouTube creator funds and the YouTube advertising. Like, do you have any advice for securing sponsorships so that they can go out and do more ambitious things and take the next step?
Yeah, I think that you can have a really good idea, right? And you know that it's awesome. But if you can't convey that idea to someone who doesn't have any understanding of what you're about, where you come from, what you're doing, how it's going to benefit them, then there's going to be a disconnect, and people may not have any interest in your awesome $1 million idea. So I think for me, communication has been key. I will get everything down on paper, or I'll create a pitch deck of some kind, just a 1-page piece of paper that has even pictures. People love pictures, or something that explains what we're going to do, how this is going to benefit me, how this is going to benefit you. And then the ability to articulate that to the person and have a real conversation with them, I think is important. Because like, for me, I'm not like a massive influencer. So there's these people out here with millions of followers, and they just get offers thrown at them all the time, and they get to do whatever they want and ask for whatever they want. Like, my work is still work. Like, when I go to a company with a pitch, like, so for instance, we went on this boat trip to Alaska last year, and the boat was expensive. It was like 15 grand. So I was like, okay, if we can cover the cost of the boat, and then the YouTube revenue from the trip's probably not going to cover the cost of the boat. So I need to maybe find some outside help. So I went to some brands and I was like, hey, this is great. And my wetsuit sponsor was one of them. And it made sense because it was cold and it was whatever. And then I added a Ridge wallet ad in there. But like, I was like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how many videos I'm going to make. This is how many views on average I've been getting on a trip like this. And I believe this is how it's going to benefit your brand. It's going to naturally be integrated into what I'm already doing. So it's going to make a lot of sense to the people who are watching the video. And you can be successful with that. There's a couple brands that turned me down, but there's a couple brands that joined in, and I think everyone was happy. And it's just, it's tying together what you're doing in a natural way with a sponsorship deal. And my promise, I always under promise and over deliver just because that's the type of person I am. But yeah, you can make it happen, man. You really can.
Are there specific people that you reach out to? Do you look for a certain title at one of those companies, or have you just made the contacts over time that you reach out to?
Yeah, I'm not really like a cold caller. I've naturally made the contacts. But if what you're conveying is like something that people are interested in, they will get back to you, whether it's the random email, a random DM, anything. I actually DM'd DJI, the drone company, and I was like, hey, this is who I am. I love DJI. I'd love to work with you guys. And they actually emailed me back. So somehow they found my email. And they're like, hey, we know who you are. Like, we saw your DM. Like, we'd love to work with you. And that actually opened up like 2 years of working with that company. And I've made some great videos for them. Their products are awesome. I've been able to use them for the past 2 years. And it was just from a cold call DM, just like, hey, like, I love this. But I think if it makes sense, it's going to work. And if it doesn't, if you're kind of reaching, it might not end up panning out. But you also have to be okay with rejection, I believe. But I don't normally like go outside of my circle of people that I know, and I don't go crazy reaching too far, but you never know. I mean, I know some people that do, and they end up with all kinds of deals. So it sounds like it's a combination of both shooting your shot and also just making sure the brands kind of align with what you're going for so that they actually see your vision. Absolutely.
Are you worried at all about like keeping up with the latest YouTube tips and tricks and things like that? Or is it more, let's make the best video we can, let's make it authentic, and the right people will see it?
Definitely the second one. I don't pay attention to anything. I am just living what I think is entertaining for people. And I believe that, so since I have captured some type of audience, I feel like I have a good idea of what they enjoy. And I think that they are stoked to come along on an adventure as we find good waves or a novelty wave or even get skunked. Maybe we don't end up finding great waves, but I think it's kind of, I've allowed myself to understand, I think, what my place is, if you will. And I think it's kind of that like, come along for the ride, surf trip, or just hanging out in New Jersey. We're going to go find some waves. Let's go find some waves. And no matter what we find, let's enjoy it. And I think that is kind of what I'm known for. And I think maybe people will tune in to just get that like enjoyment, you know, like, oh, look at this guy going for it again. Like, what's he going to get today? And I think just understanding like what my place is on YouTube. Like, I'm not the big wave guy. I'm not, you know, I'll surf big waves every now and then just so people get a little something different. But just kind of understanding, I think, what my strengths are has been important. And I don't think I've tried to chase some trends. Like I did a 24-hour in my wetsuit challenge. The video didn't do well. I've done like thought about doing that kind of stuff and the videos never do well. So I always took that as a sign to just stay on my path.